so excited. I feel like I could throw a party because I finished NaNoWriMo just a few minutes ago. So today's November the 28th and I finished with 50,000 words, 50,117, something like that I think it said. And I am just so excited because I honestly wasn't even sure if I'd be able to do it at the beginning of November. And whenever I saw that that meant writing 1,600 words a day, I was like, oh. Because my first book that I wrote, I only looked at doing 1,000 words a day. And not every day. It was if I sit down to write today, I have to write 1,000 words. And now that I've accomplished NaNoWriMo, I see things totally different. So for those of you who didn't finish NaNoWriMo 2016 or who didn't even try to start because of other obligations and whatnot, I 110% recommend doing NaNoWriMo because it has taught me so much about myself. First off, do not be a pantser. Don't. Because the 2 books I've written, I have done that. And I know that I could have written a much stronger book. And I know that when I edit, I am essentially going to have to rewrite. Because loopholes, plot holes, things that could have definitely been done better. But that's why you live and learn, right? That's what I'm telling myself. I am just really excited about it. So the second thing that I learned doing NaNoWriMo is that you definitely should be reading while you're writing, because I started reading Eve the Awakening by Jenna Massey, and I kind of realized I thought I was always too wordy, and apparently I was underwordy. I realized that I could make my descriptions way more descriptive, and I think that I just got so caught in actually getting things on paper I didn't worry about finalizing detail, making sure it all came out in a coherent, awesome, complete thought. So that was one thing, the second thing I learned. The third thing I learned is that I use a lot of unnecessary words, and I actually just watched the video by Vivian Reese about the 29 words to eliminate from your writing, and I cringed because I use all of them. And I could only think about this beautiful novel I just finished and how horrible it was and how much better it could be. But you have to tell yourself, if you notice your flaws and know what needs to be improved, then you're already a step ahead of the game. You are much more ahead than others. At least you're aware and you know what you need to do to make your writing better. Because as long as you have the tools to do that, you're just fine. This month has also taught me that I am much more enduring of a person than I thought. If that is even a coherent sentence, I don't know. But I always, the first book I wrote, I would sit down, and anytime I sat down, I said, okay, Brittany, you have to write 1,000 words, and as long as I had my 1,000 words, it was cool. Nope, I didn't have to write every day, didn't matter. So whenever I realized that writing 50,000 words meant writing 1,600 words a day, at the beginning of November, I kind of cringed, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's a lot of words. But now, looking back, it's not bad. So by doing NaNoWriMo, I taught myself that I am capable of much more than what I actually put forth. For example, I didn't write every single day. I probably wrote 4 or 5 days out of the week. But the days that I wrote, I had to make up for the days I didn't write. And I thought it was going to be a big problem, but then I realized it wasn't. I would sit down and dedicate an hour, and I would hide my word count. Literally, I'd put something over it so I couldn't see it, and I would just write. It's like, Brittany, we're not focusing. You're just going to write until, you've done a few pages in Word, and once you've done that, you're probably good. And I've realized that doing that, it helps facilitate the writing process, and it's a lot easier and a lot better to get things done. But, I never would have known that I was capable of putting so many words down a day until I did NaNoWriMo. And I feel like if I had had an outline, things would have been much more polished and gone a lot more smoothly, and I would have been able to get things done faster. So there's another reason why you don't need to pants things. Besides, outlining is really useful. It helps you know different little sneaky things you can throw in, some foreshadowing and plot holes or plot points, whatever. So definitely always outline. Don't pants. Don't be me, because it's not a good idea. But I've learned my lesson. So just kind of wrapping up from this experience, I think that I'm going to take it real easy the month of December, because I start grad school in January and I just want a month, and I am going to read a lot. All of the writers I'm following on Twitter, I'm going to see the books they've written, and I'm just going to try to become more immersed in the writing community that is around me. And then following that, since I'm going to be in grad school in not gonna have any time for anything. I think I'm probably gonna start focusing on editing and doing like Vivian Reese does and creating a whole bunch of note cards with different chapters of my book, maybe even get Scrivener, so I can focus on the different things I need to fix, which is gonna make me cry probably, but that's my fault. But I think my big focus is gonna be short stories and focusing on the words that I don't need to be using in my stories and polishing up the way I write before I go back and rewrite. And I'm also going to try to find a lot of books that are going to help me become a better writer, because you can always learn. Things change all the time, and I am super excited to be able to go on this journey and to be so confident. And I think I need a drink probably this weekend. I'm just going to party it up because I did it. I can't believe I did it, but I did it. So